with the fun part of the evening, and that's to recognize the 2016 Laney Athletic Hall of Fame inductees. First up, we have Mr. Carl Pop Bateman.
Yay!
Come on down. And I get to talk about people.
Not right to their face.
Yes, I do.
Well, I'd like to just kind of thank everybody involved that allowed me to volunteer work in something I really enjoy. I guess I have to thank the whole school staff, all the very talented young ladies that came through the program, all their supportive parents, and I guess all the very good coaches I've worked with over the years. Thanks very much.
Oftentimes we don't really tell people what we think about them or how we feel about them. Coach Pop has done so much for Laney athletics. I think all the girls, they just love him to death. He comes out, he works hard. He scares me to death because he's out there working on the field and it's about 95 degrees at noon. But he takes care of us. He said something to me the other day. We were talking a little bit yesterday, and he said, well, that I was congratulating him on the Hall of Fame induction, and he said, well, I didn't think anybody noticed. Pop, we noticed all the things that you do and all the things that you've done, and we really, really appreciate everything that you've done, and you can have this job for the next 20 years if you want. If you can put up with Coach Fisk and Rose, I don't know if you can hang around them much often. They kind of ruin you a little bit. Next up, we have Mr. Arnold Brown. He's the elder statesman out of this bunch. So Arnold played football for Laney. Did an outstanding job, as you can see. We'll talk about later when Mr. D introduced him in the gym. Did a lot of great things for Laney. Outstanding career. He was he was the first of our professional athletes, and we're really proud of that. Did they talk about you in the concussion movie the other day? Since that was doing your era, all you old guys there, playing without helmets and all that kind of stuff.
I tell you, I used to play in front of millions of people, sign autographs and interviews, and I'm a little nervous standing up here. But I just want to thank Laney High School and the committee, and also thank BB&T Bank. For the last 5 years, I also had scholarships in my name. And to be inducted into the Hall of Fame, wow. I mean, I'm happy, I'm so excited. I knew the NFL had a Hall of Fame, but I never knew Laney had a Hall of Fame, but I'll take it. I really appreciate that, and thank you. And I want to thank my family for coming out to support me, especially when there's so many back there. God has been so good to me in my life, and I just thank him, and I ask for y'all to, my mother and father could be here. My mother has cancer, so I ask for y'all to keep her in prayer. But I want to thank all my family that came out to support me. Hope y'all give me a minute. My father-in-law, my brother-in-law, my sister-in-law, and God has been so good to me. I'm gonna tell you this right here. For the last 11 years, I was working on this job. I thought I had a home, but they went bankrupt, and so now I work for Evergreen Clearing. And I want to thank the owner, Brian, for coming out and support me, and my supervisor, Philip. So I thank y'all for coming out. But last but not least, I want to thank my lovely wife, LaRonda. Yeah, I call her my princess because she's young and beautiful. So I want to thank her for coming out. And my auntie, She used to teach at Lola Williams, so I thank you too. But let me say this right here and I'm through. Back in the days when I graduated in 1980, it was totally different. I mean, I was blessed to even graduate. I mean, I was to do some things not really good, but I'm thankful. Now, don't look at me. I know some of y'all. I'm probably the only one. So, I'm just keeping it 100. You know, but it's funny, right, that I never even thought about playing sports at all. I waited till my last year to play, and I wanted to play basketball, so I called myself going out for football to get in friends with the basketball coach. So that 1 year, I made all conference and did pretty well, and ended up getting a scholarship going to North Carolina Central University. And I was, after I graduated in '85, I was a 5th round draft choice. I was drafted with Seattle, but I played in Detroit for 2 years. The reason how I got to Detroit was that during the second preseason, I did well against Detroit, so I ended up going to Detroit for 2 years. And then I went back to Seattle in '87, and I finished out my career in '88 with the Denver Broncos, so truly a blessing. So I just want, like I said, I just want to thank the committee for inducting me into the Laney Hall of Fame. And I got to say one other thing to my wife. I got to say this is a true story because I'm proud of this. When I graduated in 1980, my wife, LaRonda, she came out in '79, but she was in my class. So she was in the gifted and talented. She was real smart, so she came out in '79. But we met at our 30th reunion, class reunion. Now, I didn't go to the 10 or the 20, but I said I'm gonna go to the 30 because I wanted to see all my friends that I hadn't seen in 30 years. But when she walked through that door, I never forget this. It was October the 1st. It was her birthday, 2010. And when she walked through that door, I was like, wow, she still looked the same after all these years. And we've been together ever since, married for 4 years. So, baby, I thank you for being there to support me. I love you so much, baby. And again, to Laney and the committee, I thank you.
Yes, we all got to step up, like you said, open car doors and get gifts for Valentine's coming up. You know, we got to do all kinds of stuff now. You mess us up there, man. What's wrong with you? See, you got concussed. That's what happened. Next up, unfortunately, Quita Walsh tonight would be well, because she's doing what she does great. So we're happy about that. But because Quita's next inductee and she's overseas. They just started back the season again, so she's over there hooping. And I was trying to see if we could kind of Skype her in here so we could get a chance to talk with her, but talked with her tonight, and she talked about some of the things that she's happy about, and of course being inducted. Representing Ms. Wallace, representing Quita. As I said, she's overseas, and we miss her a lot. And I told her we'd do something special for her when she does get back in town.
Good afternoon. My name is Thomasina Wallace, and I am Shaquita Wallace's mother. And I just want to thank the committee for inducting her. And we're just so happy. Our family is really happy, and I'm really excited about her being inducted. Thank you.
We got a love-hate relationship tonight because the son plays for Harvard. So you need to hang out with Miss O'Brien over there. After this thing gets over. But thank you for coming out, and because we love Quita to death, and we're proud of all the things that she's doing. She just needs to fly me over so I can watch her play. That's what she needs to do next there. Next up, softball players over the hill still think that they can play. Miss Roxanne Mills.
didn't tell me I was gonna have to say anything, but we are not over the hill, first of all. I can still pitch. I just want to thank everybody for coming out, my friends and family. A lot of you showed up that I'm proud to say you guys are friends. And the committee for allowing me to be in the Hall of Fame. I appreciate it. And that's it, I guess. Thank you.
Just trying to be humble, but I'll say a couple of things about it. Softball has been one of the better programs that we've had at Laney High School. We've been blessed with a lot of talent. We've been blessed with a lot of outstanding coaches. It's just been really special at Laney High School. A couple of people that really influenced our program and put us on the map as far as softball, and Roxanne was one of those. Even though she won't talk about herself, but she did such an outstanding job for Laney High School, representing us well. Just did a tremendous job, and of course we got state championship because of that. And she did kind of listen to Coach Adams a little bit, and Coach Ingalls. I was reading a little bit about what Coach Ingalls said about you guys, and he said, he talked about Roxanne and about how how she made everybody else better, that she made everybody have to compete, because she worked extremely hard. She never gave up. And she inspired everybody else to be better. So Roxanne, we're really proud of all the things that you've done, and this induction is well deserved. So thank you. Next up, we have one of my former players, Mr. Fred Allen. Fred said it was 26-3, we won 26 games.
All right, thank you very much. First person I want to thank is Mr. Brown, because you have created an opportunity for me to talk 2 minutes longer than you. Coming up through my time here, I was kind of a quiet one, and I just kind of hid behind the scenes, and then every now and again I would kind of spot out and do something. But first, I've had a lot of mentors here, Ms. Sutton, Coach Coley, Coach Lynch. They all kind of brought us up, and Coach Sewell kicked my butt in the interim. So we all kind of grew up together here and had a great time. Those that know my family, every game, my mom sat mid-court, 2 rows up, and sometimes Coach Lynch wasn't too happy about that, because we would be watching videos in our screening, and we had to turn the volume down because we heard my mom talking in the screen. But I've learned lessons from a lot of people. My mom always taught me that there was nothing that I couldn't do. And so I've took that through my life, and through every challenge that I've had, I was able to apply that. My dad sat all the way at the top, mid-court. So when I came in, there were 2 spots I needed to look at. Right? The lesson he taught me was that you can always make the coach play you. And so I have used that in my personal work career, because there have been times where I had opportunities that I thought I should have had, and I didn't receive them, but within a year, they came to fruition. So that lesson has always stuck with me. I got some of my buddies here. Rick Mears, he stayed right across the street with me, and it was funny. We was those 2 kids, and he's a big Duke fan, and back then I pulled for Carolina, and every day we was on the court battling with each other. During our senior year, we didn't have to talk to each other. We had a kind of a bond, and I knew where he was going to be at all times, and he knew where I was going to be. And then John Williams, this is the funniest story. I met John under the bleachers, under the stage at New Hanover Gym. And what do you mean under the stage? Well, I was going up for a layup, and John knocked me under the stage. And he was man enough to come to me after the game and apologize, and he's been one of my best friends since then. My brother, I don't think he ever knew this, But every time I came off the court, he was the first one to greet me. Now, if I was screwing up, he told me. If I was doing well, he was cheering for me. So I had a great support system. I want to thank my cousin, Uncle Eddie, that's here. Had a great support system. And the one thing that we always walked away from, would tell you this right now, that when I do a lot of talks out in the community, the one thing that we spend a lot of time trying to teach, coach, and train on is will and desire. If you want to be a millionaire, you figure that one out, and every corporation would buy it, okay? But it doesn't exist. One of the models that we had here at Laney, every time we got on the court, the first and last thing we said was the will to win. And Coach Coley put that in us, and I took that message throughout my life and have been very successful with having a will to win. I've always wanted to be better than the man beside me, work harder than everybody around me. And through that message and through those lessons that I've learned through this family that we have here, I'm very appreciative, and I want to say thank you. And I appreciate this. When I got the phone call, that's exactly what I said. I got the call. All right, thank you.
One of the things that that Fred talked about, that was a, that was a special, that was a special group. I coached a long time here at Laney High School, and I've had some really, good teams. I was blessed to be around some great kids, some great athletes. And that team, as he said, they were just special. I remember before the season, Coach Cole and I sit down. We had big egos. We sat down one evening, said, looked at the schedule. Okay, one loss, 2 losses. We might lose 3 games. And we talked about, because we knew those kids they were just that good. Because as you said, they had that will to win. They loved each other. They played hard. They loved to play defense, and that's what made them so great. And if you look at Fred, he was, if you watched him play, you're like, he wasn't impressive to watch. He didn't do things so smoothly, but at the end of the day, you look at the stats and everything was great, and that's all that mattered. So again, we appreciate you and thanks for coming.
Coach, can I say one thing about it? Yes. I never told you this, Fred, but the only reason you made the team was your brother was part of the program. But he ended up being one of my favorite players. And he and Ricky and John were on my first team and made me think I could coach, so I appreciate that.
Yeah, we can cut this issue. Your brother's on the team, and so you two riding with you. So you get to hang around a little bit there. No, we're proud of all of them. Next up is never talked. I've kind of known him, I think all of his life. Again, much like Fred, that unassuming, did what he had to do. Nobody noticed except for coaches. At the end of the night, you look at the stat sheet, 20-some points, 10 rebounds. When did he score all of that? And that's just the type of game that he had. Next up, Marcus. No talking. I'll see you at the mic here, brother.
All right. Thanks, Coach. I guess first I want to thank all you guys for voting me in. Just honored and humbled just to be recognized as one of the 7 inductees in this class, and also congratulate to the other inductees as well. Couldn't have done without my teammates home here tonight. Thanks to all the friends and family who supported me, believed in me, and encouraged me throughout all the years. That's pretty much it.
I know, having Darren around, you don't get a chance to talk. I get it, I understand. That's a whole different baby there. But as I said, did an outstanding job for us. As I said, just a workaholic. did all the things that you had to do to be successful, and you know, really, really proud of him. You know.
Do I get the privilege on this one? Since Cody got one.
You get one.
Okay.
I was in one of my staff meetings the other day, and we were talking about, and Marcus works in my office, so we were talking about getting back to the fundamentals. And one of the questions I asked Marcus, I said, Marcus, I said, you play with a lot of good athletes, and I said, and I named Jabbar, I named Darren. I said, do you feel like you're a better athlete than either one of the other guys? He said, well, no. I said, so what do you attribute to being successful? And he gave me all the words that I needed for that staff meeting. He said, attention to detail, fundamentals, and work ethic. I said, thank you.
I just want to right a wrong. Miss Morgan here is my significant other. She's my new cheerleader. And I noticed I didn't recognize her, so I want to make sure I did.
Good move.
You are the man, baby. You are the man. Arnold, you see what you did, brother? You put pressure on all us husbands and fiancés and, you know, significant others and all that stuff. I don't know. Last but not least, my friend for a long time. I know we're both old, you know. Been together for a long time. Our kids grew up together, hung out, you know, at softball games, and you name it, we were there. Two country boys, you know. He's from, well, I don't know what that little town is now. You always tell me the name of that little town. Earl, that's it, Earl. You know, and I'm from a little town, Rutherford. Now, excuse me, I'm from Repton. So anybody who's from the western part, that's what I'm from, Repton, North Carolina. You know, and he's from Earl. But you know, Coach Sewell, as I said, we go back a long ways. You know, great friend, seen a lot of good things. You know, I get beat up all the time. Man, Coach Lynch don't like wrestlers. You know, and because Alan just didn't laugh about that, because, you know, we had a little thing, and every time we had basketball tryouts.
Oh, you can't use that story. I'm using it later.
Well, I'll let that pass. Come on up here, Coach Sewell.
Well, just to tease you a little bit with that story, is I had several state champ wrestlers that he cut off the basket, because I would be standing at the door going, Fred, who you gonna cut tomorrow? He'd say that one, and I'd be waiting, and as soon as they'd come off, I'd put my arm around them and say, I got something for you to do. But you know, you gotta work with what you got. You know? But thanks to all of you guys, all these people up here know their special place in my heart. They've all got, you know, just a special place. And Ruby Zell there's helped raise me from a wild child to kind of a calm guy right now, most of the time. But I'd like to, most of all, thank God for giving me a gift to mold and shape lives. When I see my former athletes here and watch, you know, you see Fred get up here and you just kind of have it's kind of indescribable, you know. It's the best job in the world. My little short wife, 4'11", probably should have left me the first year I coached, because whew, I was doing some crazy stuff, and you'll hear them laugh, because my brother and I were talking about, as far as the fiery part, you can blame the bald guy over here in the green shirt. And I'd also like to thank him for my drive. You ever seen the FCA poster with a little boy with a football? And he's looking, and it says influence. I followed him, and I watched him. And it gave me a sense of learning to work and watch. My mom and my dad, that came from them, as he knows. The prayers of my mom, Miss Williams, walking down the halls, these halls for 32 years. You're on my prayer list. You're on my prayer list. You better behave. The coaches, I've got some coaches here that started out for me. Claycomb and Sherwood started out with me. Building this thing, you know, ignorance is a good thing. You come into something and you don't know what you're going into, and you just go into it and you really don't know. You're too young and ignorant to know really what you're trying to do. So those of you who bared with me through all my crazy stuff, to all you guys that I coached in here, I apologize for the stuff I put y'all through. But having a good wife at home and just good family support, and just being able to have an occupation that you don't dread coming to work, and you enjoy every day because it's fun and it's different challenges and stuff. And probably not many people in life get to do something like that. And that's just been a blessing. So, Laney's, it's been my blessing to be here and to be able to be embraced by this community and taken in as their son, and allow me to work with your sons and your daughters and that type of stuff. Mama Dorla's sitting here, that's another story. Straightening me out and telling me she was one of the people that would come up and just get in my face and say, you know what, you're wrong. You need to change that. And I appreciate that. She watched me coach and rode the bus with us and babysat Tanner while we were coaching and that type of stuff. So I can just go on and on thanking people, but I thank you guys for doing this. It's very special, and it's just a blessing has been mine. Thank you.
Coach, I will share that other story. I remember when I first came to Laney, and kids would come out, everybody that came wanted to play basketball in the Laney program. And Coach Sewell said, like, son, you need to come out for wrestling. He said, no, I'm gonna play basketball. Coach said, well, meet me in the gym this afternoon. We're gonna play one-on-one. And if you lose, you're not a basketball player.
Again, we all know, what Alan has meant to Laney High School. He's, changed the wrestling program, built the wrestling program, made it great, and is still involved, and we appreciate that. I can't say enough words about what he's done for us. So we want to take an opportunity to honor you and just talk about all the things that you've done and that you're going to continue to do, since you're never going to retire like Ruby Sutton, so you'll be here forever. So that it really doesn't matter. Again, for all you inductees, guys, we really appreciate you guys, family members. It means a lot, as everybody said, for you guys to come out and support them. None of us would be what we are without the support. Without blessings from God, without having people around us who, tell us when we're wrong, tell us what we need to do to become better. All those things that make us into great human beings, and we thank you for that. Now, what we're going to do from here.